Hey guys, welcome to the brand new podcast, the Battle Warrior podcast, guys. And you guys are noticing here, this is the Battle Warrior Chad. What we're looking at, guys, is we're taking the old C's Get Degrees podcast, converting it to the Battle Warrior podcast, to where we're open up to all these phenomenal warriors around the world, sharing their amazing story on how they went from nothing to being successful, either through addiction, through entrepreneurship, through their faith, through everything else. So guys, if you're noticing any name changes coming in the future, or specifically name changes podcasts, the new podcast is called the Battle Warrior Podcast.
I am a warrior. I walk with the gods. I am a warrior. I will never stop. Yeah!
Battle Warrior Podcast, guys. This is Chad. I'm the Battle Warrior.
Overly squeaking chair in the background. Like, what's happening? I don't get it.
I'm in, to be honest, man, I'm in this gym chair freaking special here. So I can't show you here. I have this. Well, first of all, guys, welcome. I'm going to say, I know it's Joey. Is it Bigelli?
Bigelli.
Bigelli. Okay.
Yeah, Bigelli. Yeah, just kind of got that Italian ring and style at the end of it. I'm half Hungarian as well. And so that's kind of my upbringing and background. Bigelli, Joey Bigelli. Pleasure to be here, man. I'm really excited about this.
No problem. I was going to say JB on the other side of it, but I'm like, I'll let you pronounce it, because I know in Wisconsin here, or north of Green Bay, Chicago area, it comes out a little bit different here with the tongue. But yes, guys, you are picking it up. I'm going to be kind of saying a little bit of it too. He is from north of the border, so just be easy on us, guys. We both have a tongue here.
Yeah. Toronto. Well, this is exciting.
It is exciting. It is what, 5:30 your time?
Yeah, just over 5:30 my time.
And we tried for what, 3-4 times in the last month and a half trying to get this situated.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, it's been back and forth. Well, I've been moving, right? I mean, I was down in Florida, so I just came back. I was out there for a month and a bit, looking at that experience. It's been great, having been fortunate to move everything online and be able to manage things. And obviously Zoom has been such a powerful tool. That's why we're doing this. However it comes out, it comes out. But, we're connecting with so many people. We met, at the beginning of the month too, via the groups that we're a part of, these communities. So I was able to fortunately go out there. I have some individuals in the States that I connected with. I'm actually expanding out there too a little bit with the team. So it was really nice to get away. Toronto's been really crazy. I'm considering it as a lockdown. I'm not sure where you're at, but at the time it was cold. At the time we were locked in. At the time we couldn't do anything. And I mean, we're kind of still the same way now, but I don't want to dive too much into that world. What I want to say is that it was nice to move away from us and get into a place where it was accepting. We were able to go out and do things and meet people and just have a nice time.
Yeah. And like I said, I live in the States here, but where you went to, between there, Texas, and I was going to say Las Vegas, are probably and Salt Lake City. I'm going to throw in Salt Lake City on this one, because a lot of the brand newer guys for leadership development and all that stuff are all kind of in Salt Lake City. So, but those are like the 4 key areas where they are wide open and arms open for entrepreneurship and development and all that fun stuff. So you went from probably -20 to what, 80-degree weather and palm trees?
Yeah, exactly. It's been quite crazy, and prime weather. Exactly. Now we went down there and it was great. I mean, I wasn't able to hit the company event out there, but we actually hosted inside a massive stadium in Miami, one of our company events there too. I think it was the first one since everything kind of started opening up / closed down, and we were able to host a massive function out there, which was amazing. And it's just nice to see. And a lot of the team is from out there too. So nice to see the nurturing of the environment, the growth. Like you said, it's very much leadership forward and business forward out there too. And I love Tampa too, because that has a lot of leaders that come out of there from our world and my current business and affiliation with the academy I'm with. So it was just really nice to be able to get out there, be close to people that are working on the same level, are ready to put in the extra hours and time to make and build success, right? To become successful. I mean, we were just talking a second ago, and that's why we're like, let's turn this on, because the journey of success is such a challenge, and it's crazy the amount of hours and the battling that we do, just like your podcast writes, because it is a tough gig, and people got to know when they jump into entrepreneurship. And this is stuff you do free, right? I mean, a lot of the work you do, the hours you plug in, the scribing of podcasts that you have to put together takes time. And it takes a lot of time for it to build and persistence for something to come from it.
I actually recorded this for someone else. I never recorded on my end of it, guys. And you get it because you did it with artists and stuff behind the scenes for a couple of years. And I'm about a year and a quarter into it. And then I got friends in this industry. People don't realize, and I'm going to emphasize, if you have a 1 hour podcast, you have about 4 hours worth of work behind it. Uploading, editing, tweaking, moving, social media growth, all that stuff. And when you start recording, some of these people I know in these groups are recording 6-7 episodes a day. And I don't know what you were in your peak, but that's just one of them. And all that stuff I do for free. So we're talking about 10 hours of work for free during the week. And it's not for free because everyone's like, why are you doing it? Because you're not getting paid. I'm like, I do it because I love to do it. I want to get paid. It's called a future paid or future date, which means we're building it for the future to run a business, build our network, build our education, all that stuff. So,
and I mean, I want to let a secret know to people that may not know it, that are listening and tuning in. And it's something that I'm sure you're going to connect with when I get to it, but a bit of background about where I came in my beginning of entrepreneurship and diving down this route was that up here in Toronto, I have been really interconnected with the music scene, the house music scene, to be specific. And my niche, my direction went to deep house. And at the time I was working at an engineering firm designing, doing my thing, but I was listening to music as I was designing, created and crafted this podcast, and as the sole purpose of connecting artists, not just locally. I mean, it was crazy how it didn't happen locally. I can get to that in a minute, but it was just my mission was to connect artists on this so they can continue to pursue their passion by, coming onto the show, expressing their music, their love, and their direction, and connecting with people around the world. So really allowing them to continue to pursue their passion. So having that platform. And as it progressed, the time and the real secret of its success and how I got to just before lockdown, and I was on a different trajectory. We were connecting with artists all over Toronto. We were bringing in big names. We're getting to the event space. It was really a positive direction. We were excited. I'd gone down to Mexico and I started connecting with people down there who were running events, and I'm like just brainstorming all these crazy ideas. And I'm sure many can relate rather. We were on a good run. A lot of people were on a very successful run just before lockdown, and it just hit, right? And I mean, not just our industry, hospitality industry, and I mean, all the industries just got, everything that happened. So the secret there was, and I've always stuck with it, is that it takes time. Like that was 5 years of persistence and discipline and constant outreach, right? And, with reaching out to individuals and artists, I get like a yes for every 10 potential, especially in the beginning. It was like out of 50 people, I might get a yes to be on the show, grinding from 30 followers, 50 followers on SoundCloud, and just being able to get that extra person who had 100, because anybody who had 500 followers would say no. And then next milestone would be, okay, I can maybe chip away. And I was fortunate for a guy out in Montreal here, Mike Haddad, shout out to him, for having a larger audience. And at the time, SoundCloud was amazing. That's where I hosted the podcast for outreach. It's changed now since Spotify has come on board and, been a big player in the scene. But I constantly did the outreach and, talking personal messages here, right? Like nothing that's pre-crafted, copy pasting, guys. It's like, if you're out there, you really want to get some traction in anything, not just the podcast space, but business space. You wanted to make it as personal as you can, that touch. So that kind of chipping away got me up to a real platform, a steady of followers that I can reach out to many larger names. And unfortunately, because of the times, I had to shift and pivot my direction, which further led on to that battle hard readiness, because after lockdown happened, I went to straight reset, like figure out where I wanted to go, and also work so much on the mindset, as that was a huge shift. It's like, wait, we were heading here. What happened, right? And having that stripped and taken away is, a complete shift for many people, right? So I had to grow through that moment. I had to go through that to grow through where I'm at today. But yeah, that's some of the secrets there that I really got to be successful with the podcast space in the deep house world, was because of that persistence, the constant outreach, and the momentum from later years. The early years were tough.
Well, I'm gonna dig into one thing here, because I'm starting to, we're gonna call this term level up, and I'm a blend in confidence on this, because each different level, your tone, if you're reaching out to people, your tone changes in a good way. So like you could tell, and I just did this a couple of days ago. Like I reached out to multiple people that, like I said, we were talking about addiction and stuff. So I'm like, hey, come on my show. This is what I'm about. This is what the show is about. If you guys are interested, whatever, come on. And I have my own little, script for it, but I reached out to 10. I got 6 yeses. Okay. If I did this 6 or 7 months ago,
yeah,
I would be 1 out of 50, like what you said. And I think what it is when you're starting to write these scripts, the more you're in it, the more you're observing this industry, and the more you're putting your time and effort and all that stuff, and the tone and the confidence kind of just bleeds out of your script.
Yeah. And also you fine-tuned it too. And you've been in there, you know what works and doesn't. And you've been emotionless, I'd imagine. Like for me, a lot of the outreach I do today is I have a flow chart I really follow, that if this hits, then that says that, then this is to this. If there's a no, then I just like keep the conversation open by keeping a question. So let's run it down, right? So I'd say, hey, how are you, Chad? Do a little bit of a connection, find something that we work with. And then I say, are you open to an opportunity? Then I just see what that reaction is. If you say yes, we move down again to the next little bit. It's like, okay, it's a visual thing. Let me send you a little bit of information on it. You check in, I'll say, can I check in with you later? Okay, that later comes. If you say yes or no. Let's say you said no before, well, then it flows into, it's like, great, no problem. Is it cool if I check in with you for 30 days from now? So you always leave it open-ended, right? And let's say it comes down to be ghosted, right? Then you see, okay, if the person ghosted, I always wait a few days and I say, hey, listen, you said this was the video or something you saw. Have you been able to check it out? If I ghosted again, just let me know if this is a thing that you want to move forward with, be kindly appreciated. So you can just really start to nail down that flow of the conversation. You'll be able to see that this is, I wouldn't want to say emotionless, but you know what to at least do at each pivot point of the convo, which will make it a lot easier at the back end. So I'm not sure if that's something that you follow, but I found that to be very, very interesting, as we do a lot of outreach.
Well, and I'm starting to get to that point too, because a month or two ago, I had that tipping point where someone called out, say, okay, if this dude's going to have to go to the next level, and I got called out, I will admit it, guys, I got called out. And I did look at that person after, we got done. She had a phone call, whatever it is. And I hung up the phone. I'm like, okay, I'll look into it, whatever. I'm like, and like I said, this is my podcast, but I'm like, motherfucker. and it's not so much that, it's, I got pissed because I personally, at times, we all kind of get cocky at times. It's like, hey, I'm doing this. But to be honest, man, I was dogging it. And I'll be 100% truthful on this. I was dogging it. I needed that call out to get that light bulb on. And because I stepped back, I'm like, okay, I finally realized I'm at, let's say, level 1, level 2, whatever the levels are going up. And I'm like, this next level is going to require more focus, more energy, more time, more crispness, more confidence, whatever it is. And it actually woke me up. So now you see what's behind me, and obviously some other things. I don't look like shit like this on video, but just in general though. So like what you were talking about, scripts and stuff.
Face for radio, guys.
Yeah, I would be a phenomenal radio guy, but I'm not. I'm 5'9".
I hear what you're saying, and I think, I really hear what you're saying, and a lot of people out there. One thing is really why I like the flow chart too, is because when those certain situations happen, it's great to have the wake up, but then you can shake it off simply because of something that's set up when you get a no. I love no's, because the more I'm in the trenches, the more, like you did, you figure it out. What to not say, right? Like I used to be part of groups that I didn't jibe with, right? I would post contents in groups thinking that like, hey, this is going to be great. It ain't. I don't have any connections with them, and it just feels wrong. So, a lot of the challenges maybe in the beginning of anyone doing sort of outreach for business and that grind in the trenches, the battle is even harder because they don't have something that they actually connect with the people, right? Now I fine tune, and I'm actually more attracting myself into the hospitality industry because I have 5.5 years in it, right? So I'm niching out to chat, to really work with these individuals. And I didn't really touch on what I'm doing today, but I trade today, and I'm affiliated with an academy that teaches people to do so. But why would I go after fit pros and construction workers and individuals that don't have any I don't resonate with? So, always taking that step back and saying the easiest way, because a lot of people think it's just about spewing out 100 combos, messages. Like you too, you're going after individuals who've been in the trenches that are grinding. So does it make sense for you to speak with someone who just came out of university, like going to college for them, right? But in other people's businesses, it's like, what have you been doing, right? Like, what has been something you've led you up? Like, oh yeah, okay, you might not like your job, but you've been doing it for 10 years and you're trying to branch out somewhere. Go talk to people that are maybe in that industry still, even though you're out of it and you didn't like it, but you can pull clients potentially out into your new business. Because I did marketing for a bit too, and I had a firm, and that's what I did, right? I didn't like the engineering and the things at the time, what I was doing, but I was so interconnected with the construction world that I said, all these guys own companies. I'm going to go there because I now have a level deeper than maybe some marketing firms as well, since I can talk about the actual business. So I get that because I know what you do with roofing and windows and construction and things like this, but I'm going to just do the marketing side. All right. You stick to that stuff because I'm moving away. So,
yeah. And I'm smiling because I have half my buddies that are in construction, the other half are in farming. And I'm very lucky to flip flop between both sides if I wanted to. Yes, I'm in the city. Yes, I have a city background, but I also have a country background and both that sides. And like what I notice on all the industries I look at is they're very good at what they do with the business. And some are very good at marketing, but it's kind of like I'm gonna use the old farm philosophy. If you're not on it, either you're a cow guy, you're a cow guy. If you're a crop guy, you're a crop guy. Like you can't crisscross and flip flop. And what I notice and how you're speaking of that is, especially through my buddies, guys that are in construction love construction. They're very good at construction, but they're not good at sitting on the table doing paperwork or marketing and all that stuff. So that's where I'm like focused at. I'm like, you were hitting a little sweet spot for them because they rather pay people to do that.
Yeah, there's definitely that. I think it's tough. And I mean, if we're speaking specifically to those starting out, right, in any kind of business or podcast or thing, you need to have the organic, kind of down pat. You need to be in the trenches. You need to work. You need to connect. You need to have that experience. I mean, in entrepreneurship in general, I was listening to something by, I believe it might have been Robert Kiyosaki. And he said that, you don't need to know it all, but you got to understand the finances. You got to understand the different departments, right? You get people to run them, but if you don't get them, then that's going to be such a huge disconnect, and it'll hold you down and back. But focus on what you know, right?
Yeah, and you can always hire people that are better than you for those departments.
Sure, for sure. And you want to, right? I mean, that's the whole, Ford's model, right? That Ford, they brought him in to question him about how his back in the day, about his smarts, right? And they're like, and they try to do fundamentals at the guy. And he said, I can push at a button and that people will come here who will tell me all that information. Like, I'm here to focus on my trajectory and I got the right people around me to do the work, which shocked the whole crowd, saying, well, that's what a smart man really is.
Yeah.
They called him not smart because he didn't know all the states, or maybe that's not exactly what it is, but he didn't know certain things that they asked. And at the time, I mean, that's the system, that's how they judged people's smarts when, Ford was coming around. So yeah, it's definitely changed. And I think that's kind of going on with today as well, is that you just have you need the right people around you. You can't be that solo, pioneer that's going to charge through this world now. There's so many competitors. There's so many people out there that are battling, or have the same niche, that are doing the same thing that you're doing. And if you're trying to do it all alone, you'll just burn out. And I've been there.
Yeah. and I'm actually part of a group that's 26 entrepreneurs, either startups or currently going, that are, 35 to, I want to say 20 years old. I think it's their youngest member. So we're all fresh, kind of near the university. We're not working with some are intertwined with the university, but we're the renegades in the town is what it is. So like you walk in, you can feel everyone's ready to go. You can feel everyone's willing to share with everyone. And it's just, we call it a co-space collaboration group or whatever it is. So you really don't realize how much power you have in that stuff until you're finally in them. And the people that are
masterminds are key.
Oh my God. Okay. You hear that growl, guys? He's got a little dog underneath his leg here.
She keeps popping in the room. I close the door and she keeps popping in somehow. I was like, how does she do it?
I gotta go out.
She's a cutie. I mean, obviously this is a recorded thing.
Yeah.
But she's a little sneaky one.
Mine are a little bit bigger. I don't have them right now, but I love my labs and my hunting dogs. So it's 60 pounds or more. But where can everyone find you, man? The first official rebranding of the Battle Warrior podcast, guys, and our guests, where can we find you on all the platforms around the world?
Hey, Chad, appreciate this. Everybody can find me on Facebook, Instagram as Joey Bigelli, Bigelli. And I'm actually going to be launching the Financially Free podcast, Financially Free Frequencies, really what is dubbed at. It's going to be all dedicated to individuals that are in the trenches too. So that's going to be launching, and on Telegram, you'll find that name. So that's if people are in Telegram, they can go there. On any other platform, Joey Bigelli, and you'll be able to see everything that I do today. And come say hi. Ask me any questions. I'm really excited about that. So appreciate it again.
And I was going to add this on here too, but man, from one warrior to another warrior, man, thank you for grinding.
Thank you, man.